This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay, CSEP, Madison County EMA.net, Davenport Custom Guitars, Richmond, Richmond Tourism, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, ScenicCabin.com, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, and Tatum Enterprises.
I want you to watch Madison County School Sports Television.
Another great sponsor this year is L81 and Madison HVAC. Another great sponsor of Madison County School Sports Television is Waffle House. Waffle House now does catering for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Call us at 859-661-2406. Waffle House Catering for Madison County.
Welcome, football fans, and welcome to our first installment, Bert Browne Coaching Show. Another year coming up on us, Bert, and getting ready to get rolling. Chad Tate, along with Bert Browne, Madison County School Sports Television. We're going to kind of start off this year talking about some things. Finished up a good year last year. Bert, again, coming off a strong year, where do you feel things are going to go from here?
Well, we really thought last year that we could win the district, and we go to Lafayette and fumble the football and do some things. Our defense played great in the first half, but it was a good year for us. We won a first-round playoff game, and then we play a Trinity football team that's as good as any team in the country. And this year we're extremely young. We're going to be starting several sophomores this year, both sides of the football. Maybe a freshman or two will be in there. We lost a great class of seniors.
There was
Unbelievable bunch of kids, and 4 of the 5 starters on the basketball team played football, and several of them on the bench played football. And when you lose a bunch that's capable of winning a state championship in another sport, and all those seniors, Kenjai and Hunter and Dominique and those guys. When you lose that kind of crew and that kind of leadership, because you've got to have a special bunch to win a state championship in anything.
Absolutely.
And I know Alan does a great job, and those kids did a phenomenal job. But they were an integral part of our football program, and now they're gone. So we've got to replace them, and so. There's going to be some puppies out there on the field early.
Well, that can be good and bad. You may take some licks early on with that. But now with those seniors that left, a lot of leadership there. You had some of these guys, I guess, backing them up. Are they going to be able to, obviously not fill those shoes right off, but have they hopefully been able to learn and maybe come in and start growing with that?
Yeah, I think some of those kids have, but several of the kids were freshmen last year. That didn't play any varsity, that are going to have to play, if not start, play quite a bit. So anytime that you have to play a bunch of young kids, you're going to take your licks, and hopefully we can take our licks and keep going and win games and things like that. I think we have 11 seniors this year. Those guys have stayed strong through all this. Several of their classmates have dropped out of football, quit football, and those guys have stayed with us, and it's not their fault that there's only 11 of them. And so we've got a hard-working football team. It was a great winter and spring for us. We're the strongest we've ever been since I've been here. So our kids have worked really hard in the offseason.
That's the weight room. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and talk about a few of those seniors, and we'll be back. Madison County School Sports Television.
This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay, CSEP, MadisonCountyEMA.net, Davenport Custom Guitars, Richmond, Richmond Tourism, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, ScenicCabin.com, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, and Tatum Enterprises. Thanks to our great sponsors. First Gear in downtown Richmond. Pro Signs in Southern Hills Plaza. L81. Another great place to watch all of our programming is BereaOnline.com. Check them out.
All right, we're back, football fans, talking with Bert Browne for our first edition of our Bert Browne Show, and we've talked a little bit about what we lost last year, hopefully coming back into the new season. And you mentioned a strong spring and fall, I guess what you guys can do for the preseason weight room. Kind of tell me where you are on that. You mentioned a strong crew.
Well, we had a great winter and spring in the weight room. We worked them 4 days a week and then 3 days a week, and just had a great turnout. Had a great freshman, 8th grade turnout. The incoming freshmen. There was days we had 44 freshmen coming over to weights from the 3 different middle schools, and but our kids have excelled in the weight room. Coach O'Buck does a great job in there, and with their strength, we've got. When I first got here, I think we might have had 2 guys squat over 350 pounds, and now we have several over 450 pounds.
Wow.
So that's a testament to our kids and our coaching staff, the guys working hard in the offseason.
When you've got, I guess with the football, you can't really replace that strength. You could have all the speed and all the athletes, but in this, you got to get, especially at the level you guys play at, you got to have the strength.
Got to, and with strength comes size. You're gonna gain some bulk, and also with strength comes confidence.
Gotcha.
And when kids are strong, they feel more confident and they're able to do more things.
And we talked, you've got 11 seniors coming back, not a lot of experience with those 11, and you're going to have some young guys. Talk to me about the leadership, what's going to happen this year. Going to be some seniors out there, but you may even have to have some young kids even step up.
Right.
Give me kind of what your
right.
outlook on that is.
We're going to, our seniors are an integral part of our football program, of course, in their leadership role. And, I talk to those guys all the time about that stuff. But definitely, we're going to have some upperclassmen step up in leadership roles and lead our football team in different situations, simply because there's going to be so many of them out there. Mm-hmm. And they've done a great job of that. Some of our younger guys of leading in the weight room, doing some of those things in the weight room in the offseason.
That's good to see. That maybe down the road to see that effect from those young guys, but
yeah.
It's good to see it growing. Now, obviously football, you got your skill positions. I'm not very versed in some of the football, but the quarterbacks in there, you've lost a lot of that. Where are you looking, and who are some names we're going to look at you're going to depend on to get some things done for you?
We've got a 3-way battle right now for the starting quarterback's job. Cameron Presnell, Aaron Sloan, and a freshman. And both those guys are sophomores, and a freshman, Zach Arden, who throws the ball extremely well and is very football knowledgeable. And all 3 of those kids, Cameron played baseball in the spring. Zach did not play baseball in the spring, and Zach was out there and got much better. Cameron has shown a lot of improvement over the last few days of practice. So we're going to go up to Eastern next week and play in their 7-on-7 and go to some 7-on-7 things and kind of put the young guys at the skill positions in the fire, especially the quarterbacks. And quarterback's one of those things that when everything's going crazy, that guy has to be the guy that calms everybody down and pulls everybody together and say, hey, it's going to be okay. So I want to get out there and do some of those things and see these quarterbacks under some fire and see who can lead our football team.
I would, with yourself, bragging of being a great quarterback, playing in the college level, and do you kind of light up with that to have the young kids to maybe teach them and show? I'd say that would be something you enjoy.
Well, it is good to be able to take a young quarterback and teach him mechanics and teach him the right way to do things, because you can learn the wrong way to do things mechanically as a quarterback. If you watch the NFL Network, they're talking about quarterbacks every year and their mechanics and the elongated throws, and as you step up, every level that you step up from junior high to high school to college to the NFL, the DBs are so much better and so much faster. Mechanics plays a major role in your quarterbacks and your release of the football, how long it takes you to get it out of your hands once you make a decision to throw to somebody. The knowledge of the game, understanding the plays, understanding where the defensive guys are going and things like that. So it's a lot for a young quarterback to learn and to know, especially at our level. When you're playing at a AA, AAA level or Class A level, and there's nothing against those teams. But the thing about the 6A level is you've got a lot of football players out there that can play. So they're going to be thrown in the fire early.
And every week they're going to get hit with it because with the tough schedule we're going to talk about in a little bit. So looks like either way it's going to be the leader of that offense is probably going to be a young guy for you this time.
No question.
But and I guess the mentality, not only performing, see who responds from the setbacks.
Right.
Because you're going to have that in that 6A level.
Right.
You're going to get hit, but you got to keep building and get a guy that's got his confidence and go.
Right, and that's the thing. You got to have a guy. I heard somebody say last week talking on a show, about a quarterback. Well, I think somebody probably needs to tell him that he can be the man. Well, I don't want a guy that you got to tell that. I want a guy that says, I am the man.
Exactly.
Because at that position, you have to have a very confident individual, because so many bad things can happen to a quarterback in a football game, and you throw an interception, you don't get your team in the right play, you fumble the ball, you do something, you do this, and if that guy gets down, then that depresses the whole football team.
It'll filter down for sure. I think that's right. Being able to come back from a mistake is a huge in all of athletics, and especially at that position. Mm-hmm. I think that's good. But that's a lot of the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, you maybe hopefully stop some people more with where are you on that at this time?
Well, we lost a great front. Brandon Parks, Paul Couch, those guys that played for us. Nunley. We lost a great front four, and lost Tucker Fair playing Mike linebacker, who's an excellent football player. So we're young both sides of the football. But like I said, our kids have worked extremely hard in the off season. So hopefully through the hard work in the off season that we're going to make up for being so young. But defensively, I think we might be better in the secondary than we were last year, even though we're going to play some young guys in the secondary. So it's just one of those things. You just never know until you play somebody else, until you get in that scrimmage, that first scrimmage, and find out who can play and who maybe can't.
Right. That's when it really gets down to it. That game can't really simulate that. I don't care what kind of practice you have. Well, we're going to take another break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Going to talk about some goals for the year and talk about our scheduling coming up for the 2013 season. Madison County School Sports Television. We'll be back.
Have you suffered an injury? Are you playing with pain that prevents you from playing your best? Let the local team of professionals help you get back on the playing field. Our team consists of physical therapists with over 10 years of experience treating sports injuries. Many times an injury on the field or court occurs without having control of the situation. One of the most important decisions after an injury is to decide where to complete your rehabilitation. The therapists at Premier Rehab have worked with professional athletes from the NFL and Major League Baseball. So take control of your injury and choose Premier Rehab. At Premier Rehab, you will gain the advantage over your competition. Take the home field advantage and team up with Premier Rehab. Another great place to watch all of our programming is BereaOnline.com. Check them out.
Make the most of your trip to the Red River Gorge in Kentucky with scenic cabin rentals, or delight in the mountainside beauty of the Daniel Boone National Forest. Whether you are planning a long vacation or just looking for a few days away from it all, check out sceniccabin.com. Our rental cabins and lodge are located close to the Red River Gorge and Natural Bridge Resort State Park. Family reunions, corporate retreats, weddings, and other large groups are very welcome. Cabins are available for small groups of 2 to 6 or large groups up to 15. All of our cabins are modern with city water, satellite TV, paved roads, full-service kitchens, modern bathrooms and showers, decks, grills, and outdoor fire pits. Many have hot tubs and game rooms or gaming tables like pool or ping pong, foosball, and air hockey. A few have internet. Visit sceniccabin.com online or check us out on our Facebook page. sceniccabin.com. Shouldn't you start planning that relaxing mountain getaway now?
Thanks to our great sponsors. First Gear in downtown Richmond. Pro Signs in Southern Hills Plaza. L81.
All right, we're back. Coach Bert Browne, Chad Tate, talking about the upcoming season for the Madison Central Indians. We've talked about some things, going to be some young guys going at it. Now, we failed to mention, but you did have an opportunity to have a spring schedule of practices, and you had a spring game. Madison County School Sports Television had that on. Give me a little what you saw from that and where you're going to go.
One of the things going into spring that I was unsure of was, when you lose that many seniors and that wealth of talent, you're really unsure when those are the guys mostly that was on the football field. For the most part, was our seniors last year. And of course we had some juniors and some sophomores scattered in there, but we were dominated by seniors. And when you lose that many kids, and kids that make an impact like they did, you really wonder when you look around. You're going, man, who's going to fill Bosley's shoes? Who's going to fill Dominique's shoes? Who's going to fill Tucker's shoes? Who's going to fill Nunley's shoes? Who's going to fill Parks' shoes? I mean, I could talk for 5 minutes about whose shoes are going to be filled. and so I went into the spring and I wanted to see if we were going to be able to step up and do some things. And I was pleased coming out of spring. I felt like I saw some good things from some guys that grew up a little bit and understood that they had to do some things. And then early here in practice, I've seen some of those things.
That's good to see. That can be rewarding as a coach and as you go throughout the season. Now, so coming in, I guess do you have some practices? What's the schedule? We have your first scrimmage comes up in August, August the 15th. That's a Thursday, Pulaski County. Is that here?
That's here at 6 o'clock.
Okay. And then, so what is the schedule from here to then until we get to the season?
We'll go 2 a day starting next week, and then we'll go to camp, and then of course we come back after camp, and that next week we start school, and then we scrimmage Pulaski County here, and then the following week is the 24th is our bowl game right here versus Harlan County in the Myroy Kid Bowl, sponsored by the National Guard, and then before we play at 5:30. Bryan Station plays Murray High School out of Murray, Kentucky, so they're coming from a long way to play. And they're always a good football team. I think they're a AA football school or a AAA maybe, and they have a good following. And so there's 2 really good games that day for our bowl game. So we're looking forward to the seasons. I know the kids are. Anytime you get to this time, it's exciting to start practice, even though, it is hot and it's July. And then it's really exciting to look forward to the games and to get started and doing those things.
And you got a tough schedule. Look through it. Of course, you got a cross-county rival on September 6th, play Southern. I'm sure everybody look forward to that, and that's going to be, they've got a good club, but then you guys, that'll be interesting. So coming up on the schedule, your goals and expectations. I know, again, you're having to kind of temper your enthusiasm because you got some young kids. What are you looking to get out of this season? Obviously, you want to win as many as you can, and as a coach, have you got any different philosophies going in with a young club this time?
You can't do as much. There's no question. Last year, with that senior-dominated football team, I put so many things in there offensively, and we did some things a lot more defensively that we could do. I think we averaged 31.5 yards or 31.5 points a game last year, and we could do so many things. We could get in so many sets and do so many different things out of all those different sets because our kids had been in it. They understood our base stuff, and you get to throw some stuff at them. And anytime you're senior dominated like that, you can throw things at those guys, and those guys can take it because they're used to it. Mm-hmm. They're used to the installation. They've gotten they're at a point in time where their brains are working a little quicker because they've seen all these different things, and they know how we're going to hit them with things. So we are going to have to pull back some stuff offensively and defensively because we're going to be so young. And that can hurt you because teams that are preparing for you can tighten down a little bit more, and they don't have to worry about so many things. And I think sometimes some coaches might get in, well, we're going to keep doing all this that we do because I don't want that team to know that we're going to run this or run that. But if your guys don't know what you're doing, it doesn't matter what the other team is doing.
So you're going to push for, maybe some basic get down a little bit, but you'll just get to where you run that very efficient. That could end up being a very rewarding season for you. Yeah. Because you can see these guys grow and see what they can push to.
No, there's no question. Anytime you take a young bunch and you see them grow throughout the season, and that's my hopes. We could take our lumps early in the season because of our youth, but hopefully by middle of the season and when district play gets started, those guys are going to be seasoned veterans for the most part. They've been in some games. They understand how it is. You got a great football team in Harlan County coming in here that can play, and they'll hit you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And when I scheduled them, that's what I was looking for. I wanted a football team that was going to be physical, that we could test our physicality against theirs, and that our kids could understand, we've got to be just as physical as we've got to be like these guys. And they're going to be. Coach Larkey does a great job. They're going to have a heck of a football team this year. They had a heck of a football team last year. I think they were they were maybe
second or third
round.
Playoffs, wasn't it? I think
and so you're looking at a football team that has got a lot back, got a couple great defensive players, and so it's going to be a challenge for us. And that's something as a coach, it's hard for us to get football games here because a lot of people don't want just the name Madison Central in any sport. They really don't want to play you, and so you scrap around trying to find games and you're just not going to get a game on your schedule where that's a win.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. You can't point at a game on our schedule and say, oh, we're going to beat them because teams that you can beat like that aren't going to play us.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Like I said, I'm never a guy, you kind of get something positive from a loss, but you can get some positives coming. Some of these kids take some licks, and if you see the growth. So I think that's that's going to be a good, interesting season for you. We've talked about everything. We talked about the upcoming season. We want to make sure encourage all the fans. Again, we've got our first scrimmage August 15th, Thursday. That'll be here against Pulaski County, and follow us on the Madison County School Sports Television. Coach Browne,
thank you, buddy.
We'll talk plenty more, and we'll have some more stuff to come up. Again, Chad Tate for Coach Browne. Until next time, see you guys.
This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay, CSEP, Madison County EMA.net, Davenport Custom Guitars, Richmond, Richmond Tourism, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, ScenicCabin.com, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, and Tatum Enterprises. Welcome to the New Heritage. Let us guide your family in creating a meaningful ceremony to honor the life and memory of your loved one. We are a locally owned, family-run funeral home where concern lies in minimizing your funeral cost and not maximizing our bottom line. We strive to help our families through the difficult loss of a loved one without causing financial hardship. It doesn't cost us anything to provide excellent service, so we feel it shouldn't cost you any extra as well. Let us impress you with both service and value. The only thing below average here is our prices. Begin a new Heritage. Heritage Funeral Home, 237 North 2nd Street, right here in Richmond. Another great place to watch all of our programming is BereaOnline.com. Check them out.
Hi, I'm David Sullivan. In the years traveling with ESPN and covering sports around the country, one of my biggest concerns was that my dogs were well cared for. Well, here at Luxury Pets, you can feel very comfortable your animals and pets are being cared for.
Well, thank you, David. You know, Luxury Pet Services is the home for happy dogs.
Luxury Pet Services is located about 3 minutes from Richmond Center. Visit our website or Facebook us. Luxury Pet Services, the home for happy dogs.
I want you to watch Madison County School Sports Television.
You want to know school sports in Madison County? Then you need to visit MadisonCountySchoolSports.com. Everything sports in Madison County. That's Madison County Schoolsports.com. Visit us now. Another great sponsor this year is L81 and Madison HVAC. This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay, CSEP, Madison County EMA.net, Davenport Custom Guitars, Richmond, Richmond Tourism, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, ScenicCabin.com, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, and Tatum Enterprises. Another great sponsor of Madison County School Sports Television is Waffle House. Waffle House now does catering for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Call us at 859-661-2406. Waffle House Catering for Madison County.